We talk about a tale of two halves for the Lucknow Super Giants. That's what's happened on their first ever appearance in the IPL after being put into bat by the Titans. Gee, it was an awful start. 29 for 4, then 47 for 4 in the first 10. You thought this is going to be Gujarat Titans all the way. Then we all saw Ayush Badoni, who's now being mentioned in a number of houses. I'm sure there's enough traffic on his Cricket Info profile page as well. Who is Ayush Badoni? And that is an impressive start to his IPL career. They managed, along with Deepak Hooda, towards the end to put up 111 in the last 10 overs. It gives them something. 158. Is that enough? And how good was that Badoni innings? And how good was Deepak Hooda? How good was Mohammad Shami? All those questions and more on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout, powered by IQ 9 5G. Ravi Shastri with me in studio. We'll hear from Lynn shortly. We also managed to hear from Ayush Badoni a little while back. And how pleasing is that? It's one of the feel-good things of the IPL, isn't it, Ravi?
Junior AB on the park. I mean, there's no A.B. de Villiers this year. There's Ayush Badoni who set it, the Wankhede on fire there. I think outstanding comeback, really. 29 for 4. You heard it from the young man that the ball was seaming a bit. It was holding on the surface a bit too. They bowled some great lengths, especially Mohammad Shami. Got the ball up to the bat and in the right areas. And from 29 for 4, and like you mentioned, 47 for 4 in 10, to get 113 in the last 10, close to 113. An outstanding effort. I think they'll settle for that. And I know there's a lot of due, but the opposition has to play really well, because the momentum will be with the Lucknow Super Giants, and you need a good start when you come out there. And Hooda, let's not take anything away from Hooda.
100%.
I mean, the counter-attack was started by him. And what I liked again about the young man, since we're talking about him, was the maturity he showed. When Hooda was going hell for leather, he took his time. He's quite happy to knock the ball around. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, in 1 over from Hardik Pandya, 3 boundaries, and he was on his bike, as you would say.
Absolutely. That was fun from Deepak Hooda. Let's get Lynn's first thoughts as well. Now, you look at 158 in isolation, you think, surely that's not going to be enough. But you look at how that innings progressed, and if you're the Super Giants, are you feeling a little better than what the scoreboard or the scorecard itself might say?
Yeah, I think so. I think as long as again, we spoke about communication prior to the match. That's going to be key here, as we just touched on. Mohammad Shami was outstanding. The way he presents his seam, it's the best I've seen in the world. So, guys like Avesh Khan, they can do the same. Mohsin Khan, left arm, if they can put the ball, that top of the, bail height with the seam up. I think there's enough assistance there with a new ball, and you never know. As we said, it's a game of two halves here. So there's no excuse why they can't come out and do exactly the same. And with the runs on the board, as we always say, runs on the board are better than not having any on the board at all.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, let's go backwards in this innings. Mohammad Shami deserves a lot of praise, but the Badoni-Hooda partnership is the story of the moment at this point. Now, how long does it take for a batter to say, I weighed Rashid Khan for 6, Lynn? You faced him enough times. It is not easy. Hooda has done it, and now Ayush Badoni in his first IPL appearance has done it. Gee, what does it take to hit Rashid for 6?
Yeah, well, it took me a few goes, I know that much. But I think, just look at it from that. Yes, Rashid is Rashid, and everyone, we talk about, do you survive his 4 overs? But I think, the way they went about their innings, they still had that intent to score. And I think that mindset there, just changed the game on its head. And that's why they had the back end, the 10 overs of, 100 and whatever runs they scored. So having that mindset to attack and play, smart cricket shots, it was the difference at the end of the day. We've seen guys or teams go the other way. Yes, they've lost a couple of early wickets. Then Rashid comes on and just eats them up. But what we saw tonight was perfect execution from Hooda and Badoni. And you know what? Is it the match-winning knock that we need, or partnership that they need? Let's find out.
Yeah, is it one of the blessings of not having the baggage of playing IPLs for years or playing too much cricket where you've been in so many meetings where they say, no, we play Rashid Khan out, we don't take him on. Nayesh Badoni says, yeah, well, I'm hitting it well now, I'm going to whack him.
Yeah, but you must see, he took the cue from Huda.
Yes.
Now, Huda has played for the Sunrisers with Rashid Khan. Yeah. He's seen enough of him. And you know, what I liked there was the way they tackled Rashid Khan and the areas where they looked to hit him. You know, you try and hit him with a horizontal bat, you could, with a cross-batted shot, you're going to get into trouble, you know. But what they did is they cleared their front leg and looked to hit with a diagonal bat in front of mid-wicket, you know, and then the ball goes mid-wicket or just behind it, it's fine. But they didn't try and flat bat him. They cleared the leg and looked to hit him there. Didn't try and hit him once on the offside because they just treated him as a bowler who's going to bowl googlies and bowl more straight and into the stumps. You know, when he did try the horizontal bat shot, he got out, Huda, you know, leg before. But Badoni after that did the same thing. You know, his six was again similarly in that direction. You know, so it's how you look to play a spinner. Now, once the pitches get a little older, drier, later on in the tournament, and the ball sits low and turns, then maybe the horizontal. Then it'll be difficult to hit this shot. But now when there's bounce, I thought that targeting of the area for Rashid was the game changer there.
Speaking of Deepak Huda, Ravi, you look at so many players who you think the 10-team IPL has to be a big opportunity for. A guy who's been around for a while, didn't quite establish himself at any franchise, and now is capped for India too. Where's his game at the moment? Do you think he's one of those players who's not had the adequate opportunity, he's not made the most of his opportunity? Has his game improved or evolved from what you've seen recently?
I don't think he's made the most of his opportunities. He's got the talent, he's a hard hitter. You know, that reputation was there in the IPL, you know, for quite some time. He was always knocking on the doors of the Indian team, you know, then had problems with his action when he was bowling. So that set him back a bit. But now, what I liked today was the counter-attack. You know, normally 29 for 4, you hit 1-6, then you say, okay, you know, let me wait for a little while, you know, try and add another 15 more runs, then see how it goes. But once he hit that, like I mentioned, he found that tempo, he just went. You know, he didn't change gears at all. He went into overdrive. That sparked off confidence in the young man at the other end. You know, he got into his stride. You know, he became the senior partner for a while. Fabulous partnership.
Yep. Excellent from Deepak Huda. If he starts the IPL well, as we've seen a lot of players who start the IPL well, they tend to carry that form through. Let's talk about the first half though. If Gujarat go on to win this game easy, then they're going to have Mohammad Shami to thank because it effectively broke the back of the Super Giants. Chris Lynn's faced enough of Mohammad Shami, the new ball. Such wicket-taking ability. I mean, could KL Rahul have done anything? You just get that ball first up in the IPL. And what's Mohammad Shami like when he's bowling with his tail up, Lenny, when you've played him?
Yeah, well, when you face Mohammad Shami, you think he's just going to, you know, maybe drop one of short of a length that you might be able to get inside or over pitch, but the guy's just relentless with his length. And as I said, his seam position is the best in the world. So then some might swing, some might go straight, but then gives the ball a chance to, you know, nip off the wicket for what we saw tonight. But yeah, his you know, very much like Josh Hazlewood, just that relentless length. You know, he's unstoppable. As a batsman, you've got to try and create the length. You might have to step out. You might have to move across the pitch to get inside the ball. You know, but for guys up the top of the order, generally they like to stay still because the ball is moving. So, you know, hats off to Mohammad Shami, and he put his team in a great position early doors. Unfortunately, they didn't quite capitalise outside the 10 overs, but you know what, that happens in the game of cricket. But I think, you know, he's a contender for the purple cap in my eyes, because on these wickets, they're not going to change too much for the first half. And the guy with the most accuracy is going to do well.
It's almost like, I feel, Ravi, correct me if I'm wrong, that he's not spoken in the same breath as the great white ball bowlers, in spite of having a great white ball record. You know, you don't look at Shami and Bumrah being mentioned in the same breath, even though Shami's always among the top wicket takers, even though you know, he's always going to play in your IPL team. We were discussing a little while back too. He went at 6.25 crore at the auction, which you think is a steal, when other bowlers tend to go for 10, 12s, 14s. Why do you think that is?
It's probably because of his economy rate, but I would go the other way. I want wickets. Yes. You know, like Chris just mentioned, you know, that seam position. Jimmy Anderson, you know, Mohammad Shami. Shami does it with the red and white ball, on a regular basis. And I don't care who the batsman is. If the conditions are conducive for swing and seam bowling, he will trouble any batsman in the world.
Now, did Hardik Pandya on his captaincy debut in the IPL, how would you rate him firstly? And did he miss a trick by not getting one more over out of the way, perhaps to not bowl?
Not really. I mean, it's easier saying anything in hindsight. But I thought, the counter attack was so good. It would have put any captain off. You would have been lost for choices, which happened there. And he learned. It's early doors in the tournament. It's early days for him as a captain. He'll learn. His first job now will be try and tell the boys, come on, get off to a good start. And let's get this properly over and done with a couple of good partnerships.
Yep, let's do that in review then at the end of the game. Big thank you to Ravi Shastri. And we'll hear more from Chris Lynn. Let's get a prediction from him though, Linny. You're trailing 1-0 in terms of predictions. Surely the chasing team today to help you settle that.
I'm going to stick with the chasing team. I don't think 158, I think it is. I don't think that's enough. So, especially with the dew dropping, if they get off to a nice start, then they can just get in autopilot and get the job done.
Prediction, Ravi, for you? Titans to do it easy, or could it be interesting?
No, this is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be interesting. Let's wait and watch. It's going to be interesting, this game.
Tell you what, that opening game, CSK KKR, only 132 to chase, but they took it to the 19th over. You've now got a little less than 160, so you never quite know. Let's pick up the chat at the end with Ravi Shastri and Chris Lynn on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket Info T20 Timeout, powered by IQ 9 5G.